Hello everyone and welcome back to your piano lesson. If you are here for the first time, I am Gianluca Fronda, pianist, composer, piano and composition teacher. If you want to discover interesting facts about me, you can watch the introduction video of the channel. I'm leaving the link below in the description, where you will find also the link for my artistic channel in case you are interested in original music and covers. Going back to the Piano Lessons to Go channel, don't forget to subscribe and to share also with your friends if there is anybody that is interested in piano music. Let me know also about yourself when you started studying, your experience. Now time to go to our lesson. Today is finally time to talk about the major scales from the practical point of view. Indeed, I want to consider this one the first video regarding scales, but not anymore from the theoretical point of view, but from the practical point of view. Because until now I've explained the scales, the key signatures, the circle of fifth, and many other things regarding the theory. But today I want to show you the 5 standard fingering scales, the 5 scales using the one that we can call either standard fingering or C major fingering. Because indeed, once you have studied the C major scale and you have learned the fingering that is needed to play the C major scale, you can apply the same identical fingering to play G major, D major, A major and E major. We are talking about the 5 scales that are one after the other one on the circle of fifths, going to the right side, so clockwise, starting from the C, that is the one having no sharp, no flat, to the G major having 1 sharp, D major having 2 sharps, A major having 3 sharps, E major having 4 sharps. I prefer to clarify one thing to avoid any misunderstanding. I'm not referring to any specific grade here. I'm explaining the scales in general, not referring to any specific board, but to all the music students that are really interested in understanding the scales, not only learning how to play. The 5 standard fingering scales are studied in grade 1, grade 2 and grade 3, so not all of them at once in grade 1 or in grade 2 or in grade 3. It's a general lesson for everybody that wants to really discover properly how to play the scales and how to understand the fingering and how to master it. Let's dive into the lesson. So I'm writing the 5 standard fingering scales. I will limit this lesson to the 5 major scales using the standard fingering. Obviously it is valid also for the C minor, for the G minor, for the D minor, for the A minor and the E minor. But we will discover all these as soon as I will show the minor scales from a practical point of view as well. Let's stick to the 5 major standard fingering scales. Which one is the fingering that is needed? So this pattern is very simple. From today on you have to consider your hand made of blocks of 3 fingers and blocks of 4 fingers. Considering 1, 2, 3, the block of 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, the block of 4. Well, you use, first of all, the first block of 3, 1, 2, 3, then you have to apply a thumb passage, then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if you want to end, so if you want to play 1 octave, you play the last note, in this, for example, in the C major case, with the little finger, then you go back for 3, 2, 1, and then 3, 2, 1. If you want to carry on and play 2 octaves, you do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, then again 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and only at the end use the little finger. But indeed, let's see now how it works. So I'm writing the patterns here. For the right hand, R, H, we do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I keep repeating that. Depending on the length of your scale, you could add again 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only when you end, you use the 5th finger. When it comes to left hand, I leave a little bit of space in this way, it's a bit more clear. You start from the little finger at the very beginning, but for example, if you are going to play 2 octaves, the 5th finger, when you restart, will be replaced by the thumb. So, the 5th finger the second time will be replaced by the thumb, but then it is 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's important that we write them under the other ones. So, respect the verticality, Okay? And then we have 3, 2, 1. So I keep repeating, this is the scheme for just one octave. And let's observe now what is happening. What does it create, this situation? It creates, in the first octave, only 2 matching points. What do I mean? That this is very important to learn how to play properly the scales, at least for me and for the students that study with me. I teach my students the method to check if the fingering that they are using is correct. And I use the method of the matching points. So on the 3rd note of the scale, you have the same identical fingering on the right and left. You have again the same identical fingering on the 6th note of the scale, where you have again a matching point, and the finger that is used on both sides is the 3rd. Let's try to double check. 1st note, 2nd note, 3rd note. Here we are. Then 4th note, 5th note, 6th note. This is the 7th, this one is the 8th. Now, as I mentioned, when you will play 2 octaves, the 5th one will be replaced by the thumb. And this is indeed another matching point. Remember that the 5th is used only at the end. Only at the end. Okay, let me show you now in practice. First of all, one hand. Let's play the right hand of the C major. It is 1, 2, 3. Then you prepare the thumb passage. You do 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want to end, as I said, use the little finger. And you end. But if you don't want to end, and you want to carry on, as I mentioned, use thumb. And you pass the thumb underneath. You do 1, 2, 3 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to play 2 octaves. And voila, now you can end. Going back, obviously, what do? Use again the same identical pattern that you have used. And which one was the last pattern? It was the pattern of 4. This one that you do. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then crossover now. Going down, obviously, is not needed anymore, the thumb passage, but it's needed the crossing over the thumb. And you do 3, 2, 1. Again, cross over the thumb. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. It is also obvious that you don't play stopping at the end of every single pattern, but you have to continue, you have to play fluently, it has to be smooth, the performance. And this is what happened in the right hand. In the left hand, as we mentioned here, we start from the little finger. We have then block of 4 and then block of 3. And let's look in practice. You start from the little finger, then block of 4. Then you cross over the thumb, because on the left obviously you have to apply first of all the crossing over the thumb. Then do the pattern for 3, 2, 1 and then 3, 2, 1. Let's indeed limit our practice to the 2 octaves. Now obviously going down, use the last one that you used, that was the block of 3. You don't repeat again the C. You do automatically, look. So automatically, ta-ta-ta, yeah, so 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, because obviously now going down is needed a thumb passage. Now again block of 3, and then block of 4. Obviously, smoothly will be. Now the funny bit starts when you have to play, for example, the scale sense together. And indeed, to be sure that you are not making any mistake, apply my method, the one of the check of the matching points. 3rd note, 6th note, and 8th note. We could even write 3rd, 6th note, and 8th note. Okay? These are the 3 matching points of all the standard fingering scales. And let's double check if it's real. So, and voila, the 3rd note of the scale, 3rd and 3rd. Now you apply the thumb passage on the right side. Now is needed a crossing over the thumb on the left. And here we are 3 and 3 on the 6th note. Now you complete the patterns and you need the thumb passage on the right. And here we are, the matching point, the 8th note, as I mentioned exactly here. The 8th note has thumb and thumb. Then you restart crossing over the thumb. Again matching point on the 3rd. pass the thumb, cross over the thumb for the 6th note, and you end. Now obviously, exactly as I said, when you end anyways, you use the little finger on top. And indeed, it doesn't look like a matching point, but anyways you know that you are ending. And then you do matching point again, thumb passage on the left side, yeah? Crossing over the thumb, passage on the left, thumb passage on the left, then crossing over the thumb automatically. 6th note, matching point, 3rd and 3rd, thumb passage on the left. After the crossing over the thumb, you have again a matching point, and here we are. Now I'm playing for you also the C major slowly, in this way you can check better the notes. So there are many methods to study well the scales. Are, for example, the pauses on the matching point, or the pause just before the matching point, or the pause, for example, after the thumb passage of the right, or after the crossing over of the left. There are many things. Obviously it's much better that you ask your teacher which one is the best method for him. I will step by step keep suggesting my methods. Today is a simple presentation of the standard fingering scales. I want to show you that all I have told you is valid also in G major, because now we study G major and is exactly the same identical thing. Same identical fingering, same identical matching points. Matching points, 3rd note, 6th note and 8th note. So remember that G major is the F sharp, yeah? Is the first scale with 1 sharp. Matching point, thumb passage, crossing over the thumb on the left, passage on the right, matching point obviously, yeah? Crossing over the thumb on the left immediately, matching point, thumb passage on the right, crossing over and matching point. So the 6th note has 2 interesting things. Has the crossing over the thumb on the left with the 3rd and automatically the matching point. You can end, now you go down, matching point and prepare automatically the thumb passage on the left. Crossover and matching point, passage and matching point obviously, crossover on the right side, matching point, passage on the left, crossover and matching point, and here we are. Or slowly. So now that we have clarified the G major as well, we can move to the 3rd scale using the standard fingering. It is the D major, same identical story. It's simply to let you check. Remember that the D major has 2 sharps, the F sharp and the C sharp. Here we are, these are the notes. Maybe starting lower, in this way is easier for you. Matching point, crossover. The same identical story will be valid for A major, that has 3 sharps. In the way they are featured in the scale, they are C sharp, F sharp and G sharp, but you know that according to the circle of fifths and the way they are, let's say the distance interval in between them, they are F sharp, C sharp and G sharp. A major for you, standard fingering, same as the other ones. And the very last one that has to be explained is the E major scale, last scale using the standard fingering in the easy form I am saying in the easy form because you will discover something that is quite magic going on with my lessons. The E major has 4 sharps. They are F sharp, G sharp, C sharp and D sharp, or according to the way they are presented, they are F sharp, C sharp, G sharp and D sharp. All of them 1/5 apart. E major. And that's all. These are the 5 standard fingering scales. What does it mean? The 5 standard fingering scales are using the same identical fingering. That is this one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That can be repeated twice to play 2 octaves. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to end the little finger. On the left, you start from the 5th. You have block of 4 and block of 3. You see? If here it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, block of 3 and block of 4, on the left is opposite. Block of 4 and block of 3 after the 5th finger. Regarding your practice, I suggest you for now to focus on these matching points, the matching notes. We have clarified that they are the 3rd, the 6th and the 8th note, where you have on the 3rd note always 3 and 3. 3 of the right and 3 of the left, 3rd finger and 3rd finger. Then on the 6th note again, 3rd and 3rd. And then on the 8th, always thumb and thumb, 1 and 1, except at the end when you use the little finger of the right to end. This is what I suggest you to do for now. Then obviously you can, maybe from my performance of the scales, you might maybe capture something. For example, you might make, as a second step, some pose, for example, not only on the matching point, but then also on the following note, on the 4th note. In this way you regain a much more stable position of the hand. Then, as I mentioned, a pose on the 6th note, and then you can make a pose on the 8th, being obviously ready to bring back the hand in position. And that's all. Then you might maybe in the 2nd octave add a pose on the 2nd note that is not needed at the beginning. One more, as we said, on the 3rd to prepare the thumb passage. One more straight after. And that's all. So, the poses might be indeed the one on the 3rd, on the 4th, on the 6th note, on the 1st, preparing the turning, and here. And that's all. These are the poses that I would suggest. 3rd, 4th, 6th, 8th, and 2nd, but from the 2nd octave going onwards. But this is an idea, this is a way to start studying the scales. Then the things that you can do are many, starting from rhythmic variations or to specific rhythms that you can apply. But we will discover all these things in case you don't have any idea, or you don't have any private teacher, or your teachers are not giving you specific advices. Anyways, feel free to comment to let me know how you are studying the scales, how did you discover, if anybody ever told you about this concept of the standard fingering or C major fingering, and if you're finding it interesting, if you find it useful. Anyways, if it's the first time that you're landing on my channel thanks to this video, don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video. Bye bye!